Ina mana, ina reo, ina karangatanga o te motu. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai, ki tēnei hui. Ko Darius Singh, tōku ingoa, and welcome. Welcome, in 1,000 languages, welcome to the 2021 Early Childhood Council Conference. This is our 30th year, and it's been perhaps the most challenging in our history. A history that involves your membership, enabling achievements like ensuring 20 hours subsidy was made available for over 3-year-olds. A history of your membership enabling a limit on the maximum size of centres. A history of your membership enabling numerous clarifications of issues around the ECC regulations, licensing criteria, and funding rules. And a history of non-stop support and advice to you all. It's no surprise that our membership has grown this year to its record levels of 1,333 centres. We now make up almost a third of the New Zealand ECE sector, maintaining our voice as the largest voice for advocacy of best practices, largest voice for ministry sanity checks, and most importantly, the largest voice for high trajectory outcomes for our tamariki. But now we're under more pressure than ever before. And as a centre owner myself, it seems like we're fighting every battle on every front, every single day. Most of you have told us that you're here today not because things are running smoothly and everything's sweet in your centres and you can afford to take a day off. Yes, we all know it's Saturday. It's actually a work day for all of us, isn't it? Not because you can afford to pay for the registration to be here. It's the dire opposite. You've told us that today might be the last beacon of light for clarity, knowledge, and hope for a future horizon before you decide to close your good centre for good. We started the 2020 year with fine aspirations for our sector, and then what happened? The COVID-19 pandemic hit us all, leaving many centres forced to close or still struggling to recover even today. The ECC staff, CEO Peter, and executive were at the forefront supporting us all throughout the lockdown period by not only receiving 3,000 emails from you all during that time, but by replying to 3,000 emails to you all during that time. On other battlefronts, both the Ministry of Education and ERO have taken a far more stringent view of compliance than ever before. Over the past 12 months, we've seen a record number of centres close under this pressure. Some needed to close. But many have found the intensity and opinionated approach of officials daunting and unnecessary. A centre failing to comply with basic health and safety issues deserves to be shut down. But having licence reassessments undertaken on the basis of things like having a word in the wrong place of a policy document or a who column not filled out in an annual plan reflects a level of zealousness that we do not need in our sector, especially now when all our hands are on deck, ensuring over 300 regulations are complied with every single minute of the day, and ensuring the health and safety systems are in place to block out COVID, or ensuring ratios, or ensuring any number of other matters of survival. The ECC continues to raise these issues with the ministry and hopes to co-design a fair approach to licensing audits and error reviews in the near future. We'll hear more about that later this morning. And yet on another battlefront, our sector has received 2 pay equity claims under the Equal Pay Act for over 650 centres. Pay equity, as you know, involves the contention that there's a gender-based pay discrimination affecting our ECE teachers. ECC is representing hundreds of centres here, and we'll hear updates after lunch. And yet, on another battlefront, the promise of pay equity looks so close to being resolved. But when the realities of government budget contributions in 2020 and 2021 kicked in, many centres calculated that they'll be shortchanged to crippling levels. We'll hear more about that and some useful takeaways after lunch. And yet, on another battlefront, we still have the worst teacher shortage crisis we've ever seen. The ECC has been advocating for more supports, like the return of 60 discretionary hours, and a number of practical and pragmatic approaches and options to the minister and ministry to help offset the shortage and relieve this pressure. And we'll hear more about that throughout the day. Be sure to tune in to the Minister of Education, Chris Hipkins, and National ECE spokesperson, Erica Stanford, in the afternoon. We have half an hour each with them, so please be sure to take this special opportunity to share your views and real-life experiences and survival issues with them. We have one day only, folks, not only to hear from all our speakers today, but also to be heard, so make it count. With all these battlefronts out there facing us each and every day, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely looking forward to some therapy from Dr. Stress over lunch and networking with all of you and sharing with you over the breaks and hopefully drinks in the evening. Finally, I want to say a huge thank you to our national office team for their tireless commitment in putting this conference together. Thank you to our sponsors and suppliers for their support. And a huge thank you to my executive, who volunteer their time and energy away from their own battles in their own centres to help fight on your behalf for a fair and rewarding sector for our teaching colleagues and leaders, and for higher trajectories and outcomes for our tamariki. And thank you for giving up your Saturday away from your loved ones to be here. I know what it feels like to need just one day off for recovery from your battles all week long. And so I wish you a productive day that will bring some light and hope to your horizons. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.